Turn off the music and please let me know if I'm coming through loud and clear, as I had some issues with the microphone last night, as we often do with our guest, Sir Censorlot, Sir Oliver Pollock. Thanks to Oliver for joining us last night with a very intriguing conversation. And as we always have, and some great insight into the things that are transpiring before our very eyes. Very good, loud and clear. Thank you, my friends. Thank you, Baden. What's happening? Good to see you. Jobla, thank you. Joy 107, appreciate that. Ennis Land, loud and clear. Awesome. 5-5, Roy. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Very good. Very good. Hi, Dave. All good here. Awesome. Thank you, Whip and Spur. Carl, good to see you. Loud and clear as you normally are. Sarah Oliver, on the other hand, yeah, he was having some struggles last night with his sound. Thank you, Gino. Thanks, Ravens Wings. Jeannie, appreciate that. All good, my friends. And yeah, thank you, Kevin. Thumbs up, everyone. Please do the thing that you do that you know is so helpful to you, to me, to this community. Thumbs up, share, notifications, all that good stuff, my friends. Please take the time to get up off your arse and hit the thumbs up button and help promote the show that literally is, in terms of shows go, like 6 hour, 7 hour, 8 hour shows. I don't think anybody that has had a show for as long as I've had, which has been 8 years, going on 8 years now, over 1,600 shows. I think we might be closing in on 1,700 soon. When you do, 4-5 nights a week, it adds up. It happens quickly. And I don't think anybody that has this level of a show that we've had together, has been canceled 27 times on on the platform. I could be wrong, and I'm not just talking YouTube. I'm talking YouTube, Facebook, D Live. What was that one? What was that one? That was like the gamer platform, not Kick, but there was another one. One word that we got kicked off of. X. I lost an account on X multiple times on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Roy, thank you, my friend. Yep. Yes, I just started a cat. Thank you. Yeah, time flies when you're having fun. Having fun, Jeannie. That's hilarious, by the way. Oh my God. Yeah, as if it's all fun and games, right? Oh, it's been a fucking blast, hasn't it, folks? Oh my God. Okay. Okay. See, Erica, these are real tears. Okay. These these are real tears. There we go. Okay. Tears of laughter, tears of joy. I mean, you got to be able to wring this thing out after you get done padding off those tears. And there's literally like water in the eyes too. Like there's glossy eyes that happen as a result of tears. Listen, not picking on the gal, but mm, the other day, and I've got to say this. Thank you for that laugh, Jeannie. I needed that. And by the way, is as difficult as this journey has been for us all, we have a pretty good time here, don't we? I mean, like, certainly we're serious about stuff, but we've always had a good time. Always had some good laughs, and always had some good guests, some good topics, some great dives, some moments of hilarity. You know, Jasper, Whiskers, the Hiccup Show. Yeah, a lot of fun, a lot of fun. Despite the content, which sometimes has been a little frustrating over the years. Yeah. So, and get off my lawn. That's great. And 53 lyric. Hi, all you snedheads, you too, Dave. Good to see you. Yeah, this is awesome. Very good. Kathy, you're the best, Dave. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Laughter sounds so very good, Catherine. Yes. Yes. Wow, how rude. Which part, Michelle? Which part did I miss something? Craig, Dave, you are flat out killing it. We are so grateful to have you. Thank you, Craig. I appreciate that, my friend. Yeah, it's slaying the deep state here, my friends. Shattering the indoctrination. That is my mission. That has been my goal, and to create an environment, to create a community that doesn't think you're crazy for believing the things that you believe, doesn't you know uh, disown you for following Q and following the people that you know to be accurate. And I created snedheads.com, and I ask you all to join me over there because it's good and it's about to get better. And we've got some great tools over there. We've got the show tonight, as you can see. We've got the plan to save the world, how the Epstein story will play out that I talked about, which I haven't looked back on, but I know it's right. I know it's accurate because I knew the way things were rolling and things were going down. A lot of research over here on the left. Way you can donate, upgrade to paid if you're on free. Some older videos, some weather anomalies, help how to do stuff. You can email me other videos, meme garden. A lot of cool stuff here, folks. So please join us over on snedheads.com, soon to be the Rubicon with a Q.com. The Rubicon with a Q. Right now it's snedheads.com. Let me show you real quick the spiritual street fighter did this beautiful artwork, and it says, what storm, Mr. President? And he says, you'll find out. And with a little Q plus here with the little spiritual street fighter emblem. uh, but what I did initially put up for the show was something different. And it was this picture. Let me pull this up for you. Got some good stuff to share with you tonight, by the way. And we're going to talk about this Hantavirus, which is just absolutely crazy. But this was the post that she initially had up, and I put up on the Rumble, all roads lead to renegade, time for public military tribunals. And that's the picture of obviously Obama and President Trump during the peaceful transition of the presidency that Barack Obama was so concerned about having. Meanwhile, he was spying on the guy during this time. Like literally, this was what was the time like on that when they met? This would have been uh the day, was it the day of the inauguration? Or no, it would have been after the election. Um, but during this time, Obama was spying on President Trump. That is treason. Not only spying on him as a presidential candidate, but spying on him as an actual president. That is treasonous. That is death penalty. That is military tribunals. And that can't happen fast enough. But we know with this spectacle of being on Stephen Colbert yesterday, that to me, that was all about just allowing him to expose himself, which Oliver and I spoke about last night together. And very interesting to see his absolute ridiculous projection of onto President Trump what he himself is actually guilty of doing. And my friends, this is straight out of Fabian Society. This is straight out of Rules for Radicals. Saul Alinsky, um, accuse the other side of what you yourself are guilty of, and that is, it works, my friends, because it taints the other person. So it definitely works. And that's why they use it, and they use it more effectively than anybody. Janet Sayer, thank you for your donation of $50 tonight. I really appreciate you. For those of you wanting to really step up and do me a solid and support the work I do here, you can scan this with your phone, or you can go to Zelle, and or you can also go to the link that Moonbeam drops in Rumble, and I'll also drop in YouTube right now. And I will call you out with a big thank you before the end of the show tonight. And so I welcome your support as we head into the weekend. I'm not sure of my schedule this weekend, but I do believe I'm going to come to you at some point, either tomorrow or Saturday. And yes, and so basically, and the reason why I don't plan, and I want to thank you for, I want to thank you for your patience, if you will, or your just the way that you kind of cut me some slack. On, not sure if I'm going live or not. Now, that's not the most professional thing, right? It's like if I was Fox News, that wouldn't work. But I'm not Fox News because I'm not fucking lying to you, and I'm not getting Joe Biden elected. All right. So I'm not part of the absolute mockingbird media. And so that comes with downsides. Now, are there some alternatives that have a set schedule? Sure. But the thing with me is I try to come on as much as I can, but I'm often thwarted by family plans that come up last minute, or something I forgot that I needed to go to, or sometimes I'm coaching. So, I spent, as you know, an inordinate amount of time in my daughter's younger years with you, 6, 8 hour shows at a time when, she was awake, at a time when there was dinner that could be had as a family, a time when, cuddle up next to a book as she goes off to bed. Sometimes I would catch her bedtime, other times I wouldn't catch her till the next morning, and I spent some quality time with her growing up. I don't want you to think that I didn't, but a lot of time was missed doing this show, and so I wanna make sure that I really connect with her, as she goes, off into the world very soon, and, um, and as a family, and so at any rate, so I thank you for your, if you will, uh, your latitude with me. But as you know, I also do it for free, and I do get some donations, and I do a few things that help along the way. But but that's why sometimes I'm inconsistent. But I'm on most nights at eight p.m. Central for a couple hours, and will continue to be so. Cheers, by the way, everybody. Cheers. I've got an ultra green drink here. And by the way, I'm going to post the link for that device that I was talking about last night with Sir Oliver. I already sent the link off to him, so I'll be sharing that here very shortly, where you can go on and check that out. It's very very valuable, and I've been doing it twice a day since I've had it. Um, Nancy, if, I think she's in the chat. She can tell you a little bit about it, as she's been doing it, and about what it's done for her and her husband George, and yeah, they can't keep these things. They're moving so quickly because of the experience that people are having with this, and it's very much a healing device, a frequency device. And when I say healing device, what I mean by that is that it puts your body in a very, very positive state to heal itself. And it gives it the frequencies and the terahertz that it desires and that it needs to heal on a cellular level. And that's really what we're looking at right now. For and for me, this was something that that healed my back. This kind of technology, but this is a higher level of that exact technology. Let me do this here. Here we go. And I'm going to have some more information out on this, with some videos and things like that. But if you're really wanting to tap into this, you can go to, and I'll put it up now, and I'll put it up a little bit later too. And This is the sneds dot thefrequencyawakening.com. Okay. That's a link that will benefit me if you get one of these devices. Now, the reason why I didn't really sell the Beamer was because of the price. The Beamer was like $5,000 or $4,000, somewhere up in there, and I think it got up to like $6,000 with everything. And even though that was the frequency thing that helped my back initially, it's this kind of frequency and terahertz that have taken it to another level of my healing. But this thing is the one that I have is 1,500. Like, that seems like a lot of money to some, I'm sure. But when you're comparing it to the other devices out there that have been tried and tested and still come up short of what this is a bargain, and that's why they can't keep them in stock, because this is taking healing to based on what I've experienced already to another level. And so, but anyway, more on that, and I'll drop that in the comments so you could just click on it as well. And there's videos there too. Um, and I'm gonna have somebody on who's a naturopath who's written a book on this topic. Um, and we'll talk more about that. That I'll probably do that next week. But if this speaks to you, okay, Jeannie, it's 3,000 here in Canada. Is that Canadian dollars, or is that what it shows when you pull it up online? Because if you buy it through me, it should be the same price because it goes through Singapore, right? Um, Now, if you're going, can see myself card charging in order to purchase. Yep, I'm going into a little debt to get mine as well, but it's you know it's better than the alternative, which is poor health and emergency rooms and doctors and so forth. Now, let's see. Let's see. The hustle is real. If you want to reach out to me privately, I just don't want you hitting up my audience. But if you want to reach out to me privately, please do so. davesnet@gmail.com. And I'd be happy to connect with you on the thing that you have, if it's viable or not. And yes. And there we go. So, okay. Speaking of health, um, Joni Lamb. Who's Joni Lamb? Passed today. Is this from the Lamb family from our meat folks? Um, I don't know Joni Lamb. Um, yeah, please let me know. Sonia, hey, Dave and Sneds, happy Thursday here from SoCal. Good to see you, Sonia. Thanks for being here and bringing such a phenomenal energy with you. Marcus Lamb's wife. I don't know who Marcus Lamb is. Pastor and Joni Lamb was CEO of Daystar Past. What is Daystar? Christian artist who was in a wheelchair. Okay. Daystar Network. Yeah, I don't know any of this stuff. Yeah, well, I have never heard of Daystar Network. Thank you for sharing that. Sorry for your loss, my friends. It sounds like you liked her. Daystar Christian Network. Okay. All right. Um, do we know what she passed of? Is that something that is yeah. Dave, start some research on peptides, great biologics for healing. Teresa, send me something on that, would you? I've heard some good things on peptides, and I do want to know more about them. You have my contact. If you wouldn't mind, I'd love to connect with you as well. It's been a minute since we've talked. So yeah, please reach out, my dear. And I'm slammed right now, but I would like to know more about that particular subject. Um, Now, my friends, let's get into um, yeah. I think you need to if you buy it through me, I don't think that's going to be a problem, Jeannie, but we'll figure that out. Okay. And any questions, my email is on that link too, that you can email me directly, and it's separate from Dave Sned at Gmail, so it's not going to get buried. Some of those emails get buried. Um, so okay, um, okay, it's one of the biggest Christian networks in the world. Is it on like cable? The Daystar Christian Network. Um, yeah. Had health complications. Okay. All right. Um, yeah. Yeah. Awaken Trillium. God has provided everything we need to live a long, happy life. We need to learn and use every weed, vegetable, and other natural healing used by indigenous peoples. These are biblical. There are biblical healing foods. I absolutely agree with you. And um, and by the way, um, this is kind of like going and earthing or grounding like at another level, almost like going to Sedona maybe, or going to one of the vortexes, or the mountains, to connect with source. We know for a fact that there are healing technologies like the Rife machine, and that other machines that put out a frequency. And PEMF has a long history, plus adding that to the terahertz, it is a way in which it aids your body, to heal itself. That we know for sure, and that is using God's frequencies and God's electromagnetic frequencies that He put in front of us. Just like um, if you want to take your temperature, you can put your hand to the forehead, but it's not as accurate as putting something under your tongue. Um, and it's just those one of the things. Some technologies have been very beneficial to us all. All right, so my friends, this let's get into what's going on with this Hantavirus. Okay, this is, as you know, I was 8 months ahead of the, COVID, because, I was fighting for, medical freedom in California, and I saw how they used the Hegelian dialectic, the problem, reaction, solution, to create this pandemic, that allowed them to take away our religious, uh opting out of the childhood vaccinations. So our religious exemption they took away from us, and they took away our medical exemption in California. I am known here in Texas as a medical refugee because our family left California because they wanted to catch my daughter up with vaccinations going into high school, and that wasn't going to happen on my watch. And as she's never had a needle in her body, and healthiest child I know. And so we are known as medical refugees here in Texas because we had to flee the tyranny, the medical tyranny of California. Well, while I was fighting for the right to say no to childhood vaccinations, I saw how they created pandemics in order to push the agenda forward. And then I said, well, they're going to come for us next. They're coming for the adults. And that was 8 months before COVID. And we hit the ground running. You all knew exactly where I stood, and you trusted me along the way to guide you. And one of the things I said was, it's not even going to be the virus that's the problem. It's going to be the vaccine that's going to be the the problem that is the real problem for us, right? So let me take you to a post that I made today, and I have a thread in it. Excuse me. This was the first thing I saw today on the subject, and there have been many. Excuse me. Excuse me. It's a little green drink. I got, excuse me, for my health. So to your health, my friends, and let's let's get into it. Let me clear up the backdrop here. Here we go. When you realize the new fear virus being pushed by the media, Hantavirus, was also listed as an adverse side effect of the COVID vaccines. This was Jay Anderson, who I happened to see first time. His is not legible, unfortunately, but there are many that are, and he's shouting out to Joe Rogan, Jimmy Dore, Kurt Metzger, who I do not know. This is what I ask you to do when you share this show, folks, is put some names of people that should know more about what the work that I'm doing here. And someone predicted hantavirus after COVID. They predicted this in 2022 for 2026, predicted in 2022. This was Soothsayer, okay? June 11th, 2022, posted 2023, Corona ended, 2026, hantavirus, okay? Coincidence or warning? WR Shock, hantavirus was already planted in the C19 mRNA jab. This was their plan all along. We see you, Dr. Evil Fauci. The cider fight, the cider. Yeah. It sounds like I've been drinking, cider, spike cider. The Pfizer side effects, C19 mRNA jab, hantavirus, pulmonary infection is a side effect. The new plan, hantavirus, was built back in 2021. Okay. This is a full adverse reaction. You will see hantavirus in there. Look at all these adverse events. Okay. Unbelievable. If you got the safe and effective jab for the vaccinated, the full base spike detoxification protocol is as follows: bromelain 500 milligram once a day, nattokinase 2000 FU twice a day, curcumin 500 milligram twice a day. The regimen is to be followed for 3 to 12 months or more, depending on the disease resolution progress. These are initial dosages and may be adjusted in accordance with the tolerability and severity of injury syndrome. Please be sure to inform yourself before taking it. Yeah. So this is good. This is right under that post that I did. So please check that out. Some research on nattokinase dissolves 84% of amyloid microclots within 2 hours in vitro. A pathology recently found in 100% of COVID-19 vaccinated individuals tested. Let's listen to this gentleman here.
Yeah, this is absolutely huge. So a natural and safe enzyme derived from fermented soybeans can literally, proven now experimentally in the test tube, dissolve 84% of the total microclot count in 2 hours. And so this is the strongest evidence we have that this can actually get rid of amyloids. And we had no clue really what could before. We didn't know if these enzymes could do it, but now we do know that yes. And now this was not in vivo, this was not in an animal, but regardless, we do know it can happen. We do know when you ingest nattokinase orally, it does reach systemic circulation and will likely also exert effects on the circulating amyloids. And so what needs to happen next is human testing, human trials to assess the reduction in amyloid burden and spike burden from the nattokinase. We have to remember one more thing. This nattokinase presents dual action activity, where it also has been shown to degrade the spike protein or frame-shifted proteins themselves, which are the very triggers that induce the amyloids in the first place. So you're knocking out the trigger and the pathogenic outcome. So this is very, very, very promising. And also, it is very safe.
Nice.
Yeah, this is
somebody mentioned, Jennifer says, am I the only one noticed Dave is skipping voice? Am I skipping some of my words? Yeah. Raven's wings. The cathedrals were healing machines. Cathedral, cathode, same root word. That Raven's wings. That documentary, it wasn't a documentary, but it was a short video on no bathrooms in the cathedrals, in the ancient cathedrals. Blew me away. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to pull that up. I'm going to show that on the show. Please hold me to that. But that was really something. And it has to do with the frequency. Like people were going in, and between the bells and the organs and the lines on the floors and the lines or the figures, the sacred geometrical figures in the windows, it was to heal and to connect with source without question in my mind. So I agree with you there, right? um let's see. No skipping. Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys. Yeah. Uh, yeah, the nattokinase, is really good stuff. Yeah. I got some of it. Why did I stop taking it? I was trying to take it to get me off the, blood thinner. Um, and if you guys want, if anybody that's on blood thinner, it may not work for you, but I'll tell you what I did. And it's an all natural herb, and I could share that with you. um, I need to go check that out. But if you're on blood thinner and you have an interest in that, please send me an email, and I'll send you what I have. And what I've been doing, because I got off Eliquis, which was really a good thing, because I just don't like being on pharmaceuticals, but more than anything, um, yeah, it might have been my lunch break jingle. Yeah, it might have been that. Yeah, if you have that, and you have that in your holster, would you please shoot it my way? Um, yeah, the Sue, you're on a blood thinner. Okay. Dave, your last two shows, audio been in and out. Do you know if is it your computer or is it the internet connection? What is it? Um, Catherine, no toilets in cathedrals confirms something for me, especially after touring Europe cathedrals. Yeah. Yeah. Right. I mean, I mean, it's so simple, right? It's like, why are there no toilets in these old cathedrals? If people were coming in, sitting down, pulling out their hymnals, listening to the priest for a little bit, or the pastor, listening to the thing, listening to the homily, listening to different passages from the Bible, listening to singers, all the while. Think about this: if the camera is God, look at all the things that they're putting in front, right? A reading from first book of Corinthians, a reading from da da da, but this person, this priest. And by the way, getting in the way of that, getting in the way between us and our creator, allowed them edification beyond what they should have been edified to. They are men that were edified and trusted by families and took advantage of that trust. And it attracted more and more pedophiles to be around children and to be, considered safe and a trusted family confidant and friend. And that person was also getting confessions. So that person was getting, you know, leads. That person was getting leads in confession, taking notes. Yeah, such and such. I abused my nephew or whatever, and the judge is like, who's your nephew? And oh, it's little Bobby. Oh, little Bobby. Okay, let's go after little Bobby. It's like, you kidding me? This dude was like, sitting down listening to people come in talk about all the sins of their world. Meanwhile, is getting dialed in with who's sinning and who to go after. It's absolutely tragic. Now, got off topic, but let's get back onto this Hantavirus. Now, and also it has to do with this cruise ship, right? Which is really kind of wacky. So, are you ready for Havid 26? There's a patent, okay? US. Now, this is the way the awakening works, right? You put something past us once, you ain't putting it past us again. They didn't put it past me once. They're certainly not going to put it past me again. English, Brian Gell, Steve Jennison, Rainforest Innovations, and what is it? Worldwide Applications, 1994, US, Japan, Canada, don't know the others. Probably Europe, and US 98. Application filed by the University of New Mexico. It's not giving me the information that says anything about, the hantavirus associated respiratory distress virus antigens. Okay. So that's US patent. Let's look it up, shall we? 583 744 1A. Let's see what pops up. And you know what I'm going to probably do? I'm probably going to do, I'm going to do AI. I'm not searching that stuff anymore. Okay. Let's see here. All right. Let's see what we got here popping up on Grok. Okay. It's titled Hantavirus Associated Respiratory Distress Viral Antigens. This patent covers recombinant DNA, cDNA sequences, proteins, and antigens from a hantavirus linked to hantavirus-associated respiratory distress syndrome, also known as HARDS. It's focused particularly on the nucleoprotein and glycoproteins from viruses like the Four Corners, Sin Nombre virus, and related strains. The expressed proteins and peptides we were talking about earlier are used for immunodiagnostics, screening and detection methods, prophylactics, potential vaccines, and research tools. This patent emerged from the 1993 Four Corners outbreak in the southwestern U.S., where a novel hantavirus caused severe respiratory illness. The work by Hagel and colleagues at University of New Mexico was key in identifying and characterizing the virus for diagnostic tests. You can view the full patent, including sequences, claims, and figures on Google Patents. The PDF is also available there, and it takes us to this right here, which was already posted. So, um, there you have it. It has been patented, right? So let's go back to some of the other things that are popping up. Posted in 2020 on Bill Gates' website, Gavi, the next pandemic hantavirus. This is from Alessi Vexa. Well done, Alexi. I'm going to follow you. They don't even hide it anymore. This is insane. Spread from rodents to humans. The next pandemic, hantavirus, old and new world hantavirus has become endemic in many continents, but are sporadic cases. This was 10 May 2021. Okay. Spread from rodents to humans, old and new world hantavirus has become endemic. In April 93, this was the Four Corners, Utah, Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico. After the mysterious deaths of young Navajo couple in New Mexico, state officials struggled to identify the cause, but were able to link symptoms to a dozen more cases in this region. It was later discovered that a novel species of hantavirus had emerged known as Sin Nombre virus, Spanish for no name, which eventually claimed the lives of 13 people. This outbreak is known as the Four Corners. Okay. Outbreak and has raised concern about the evolution of hantaviruses. Okay. Orthohantavirus are a viral genus which are able to cause disease in humans. These are transmitted through inhalation of aerosols from infected rodent excretions and cause a range of hemorrhagic hemorrhage, hemorrhagic, and pneumonic symptoms. Particular species such as orthohantavirus. Okay, so you get the picture, right? I'm getting into the weeds here, but it's important stuff, right? Okay. Here's somebody, Goldie Griffin, doing Honto, okay, and all the letters end up with 44, which is Obama. 44th, he is the virus, asking for a friend. That's funny. Goldie Griffin following and follows me. Goldie, go ahead and tag me on this so I see it quicker, please. Yeah. So this is now. So this weird stuff, and here's the WHO here.
Solidarity, I will let. But how does that translate in a global solidarity? I will let time to tell. But we really need this incident. This outbreak has seen why the world needs a global entity that coordinates this. The Argentina support how they came forward. The support we are receiving now from U.S. institutions. We live in an interconnected world. That outbreak from one part affects everywhere. So in terms of collaboration, we are going both through the technical collaborations in sharing information, guidance. We rely heavily as DG multiple sides. What I'm saying is that the expertise of USCDC is an asset for the world, and we have been benefiting from that. But how does that translate in a global solidarity? I will let time to tell, but we really need this incident, this outbreak has seen why the world needs.
Yeah. I'm tired of trying to make out what the fuck the WHO is talking about so they can go fuck themselves. And that's why we're out of it. Now, who person I will listen to is the guy that I shared on the same day that President Trump shared him on social media, and that is Dr. Zev Zelenko.
Viruses.
By the way, rest in peace. He has now left us, and but he has some words of wisdom that he leaves with us.
Class of viruses called single-stranded RNA viruses, and some of those viruses include all the COVID strains, COVID-19, influenza virus, RSV virus, Marburg virus, Ebola virus, Hantavirus, and there are a few others. The point being is that they all are single-stranded RNA viruses that use the same common pathway in making copies of their genetic material. That's something called RNA-dependent RNA polymerase. That's what I've been talking about for the last 2 years in the context of COVID-19. But if we extrapolate that to think more broadly, then it's the same mechanism of treatment using zinc ionophores and zinc could inhibit all the strains of COVID-19, influenza virus, RSV virus, Ebola virus, Marburg virus, and Hantavirus. This has tremendous amount of national security implications. And I don't think anyone realizes this.
National security implications. Yeah, this is because they were trying to figure this shit out, right? Let's listen to Dr. Drew.
I'm really worried. You know, we have a hantavirus outbreak in a cruise ship, and everybody's wanting to do it all over again. It's, are you freaking? It's not a respiratory virus. Stop it. Stop it now. Stop the news agencies need to stop. Everybody needs to stop. Hantavirus has been around a long time. It's nasty. Yeah. So is TB. So is a lot of other things. So is rickettsia. Let's deal with the rats problem downtown in Los Angeles. We have murine typhus and pneumonic plague breaking out. Deal with that. But I digress. The fact is that there are structural and philosophical excesses in public health that need to be kind of addressed. And is anyone in public health thinking about this?
I don't think they are. I mean, I think one of the most healthy, useful outcomes of the COVID era was the absolute loss of credibility of the public health religious cult. And, you know, also, I think we all go into public health, just like when people go into medicine.
Viruses,
so
single-stranded RNA viruses.
I'm worried.
By the way, this is the kind of thing that Dr. Drew is talking about there is I'm on board with, you know, shut up, ABC, NBC, CBS, Washington Post, all the mainstream media. Shut the fuck up. You guys are sitting this one out. Let the pros deal with this. Okay. That's me. That's other people out there that I'm sharing you these links with that are doing some, you know, investigative reporting on this, finding these comments from years ago, finding these links to the patents, finding who's involved. Okay. Finding that it's a side effect from the actual fucking COVID vaccine. Okay. And then we have, you know, numbnuts like this guy, who's doing it all over again. Emmanuel Macron closes schools
pour notre
permanently.
intérêt collectif. Dès lundi.
Can I get a English translation, please?
Les crèches.
I need a translation. Macron in English. Let me see if that pops up.
Intérêt collectif.
So supposedly he closes the school establishments due to the spread of the hantavirus. And I'm still looking for the English translation. Okay. What? This dude is saying that Emmanuel Macron has been killed? What's this?
Bonjour, Monsieur Macron. Coucou, c'est nazi, c'est ça? Moi, vous savez, Monsieur Macron, j'aime beaucoup l'histoire. Et le 8 mai, donc aujourd'hui, vous allez vous rendre sur la tombe du soldat inconnu. Inconnu comme vous. Mais bon, si c'était moi, vous
Yeah. More. Yeah. My French hasn't quite been good since I spent 3 weeks in France years ago, and 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 polished up on some French with my friend's tapes that he gave me. So here's this dumb shit Macron who's closing down schools, and we're not going to put up with it anymore. And I'll tell you this too. This was something that was very important, and I mentioned this when we were going into the COVID. I talked about, even before that, I talked about how the H1N1 was completely demolished by you and I on the internet, like us getting on and saying this is bullshit. We're not getting vaccinated for this. This is a scam, et cetera, et cetera. We destroyed on all social media the H1N1. Okay, you remember that, right? So what did they do when they rolled out COVID? They got rid of people like me and you that were putting the word out about how it was a farce and how it was bullshit and do not take the vaccine, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And here I am 27 platforms later, still not getting up to my numbers that I used to get back in the day before they started ripping me apart at the seams. Yeah, it's effective. It's very effective what they did. I used to get 4,000 live. And every time I got up over 3,000, I got to 4,000, I think twice live. Every time I got there, they would take out at least one of my platforms. So at any rate, we destroyed H1N1. And then when COVID came around, they censored us so that they could get that pandemic through. And they did very effectively. But they're not going to do it anymore. They can't do it. They're not going to do it. X isn't going to allow them to hide it. Truth isn't going to allow them to hide it, meaning, snuff them. This was an hour ago. I got to share this with you. This is Jesse Waters an hour ago. We got to go to some war stuff. Here we go.
Fox News alert, we just bombed Iran. CENTCOM launching airstrikes hitting multiple ports along the Strait of Hormuz. Senior U.S. officials saying this is not a restart of the war or an end to the ceasefire. It all started this afternoon when Iranian attack boats from the Mosquito Fleet swarmed toward 3 guided missile destroyers in the Gulf. The USS Truxtun, the USS Rafael Peralta, and the USS Mason defended themselves, keeping them at bay with 50 caliber machine guns, small caliber gun teams on deck, and Hellfire missiles fired from Apaches. Iranian forces also launched drones and missiles from the shoreline. This was a pretty intense and sustained barrage, so the United States responded forcefully, launching airstrikes, targeting Iranian missile facilities responsible for the attack, hitting missile and drone launch sites, command and control locations, and intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance nodes. Central Command said the Iranian attacks were unprovoked, and we responded in self-defense. adding that not a single American ship was hit. Central Command says we don't seek escalation, but we remain positioned and ready to protect American forces. ABC asked the president if the ceasefire was over, and he said, no, ceasefire's still on. It's just a love tap. The president later writing on Truth Social that the Iranian small boats were completely destroyed, Iranian missiles were easily knocked down, and drones were incinerated while in the air, and they dropped ever so beautifully down to the ocean, very much like a butterfly dropping to its grave. The Iranians claim it was tit for tat. Yesterday, an F-18 Super Hornet lit up an Iranian tanker with machine gun fire when it tried running the blockade and turned it around back to port. The president says the 3 destroyers successfully transited out of the strait and will join the blockade. And the Wall Street Journal's reporting that Project Freedom is still in play. It was paused for diplomatic reasons to help with the Iranian negotiations and because of an airspace dispute with the Saudis. But it's all patched up. And the French and British navies are apparently on their way to help with escort duty when needed. The president said earlier today a normal country would let boats sail peacefully through the strait. But Iran's not a normal country. Some of these Persian pirates are still trying to charge tolls. They're screaming into loudspeakers at tanker traffic, pay up or we'll shoot. The Iranians even clipped a Chinese vessel in the strait this week. With friends like these, I don't know. Some ships are just going dark or flipping their flags and sailing through anyway because it's gotten ridiculous. The administration's going to take the Iranian hostage crisis in the strait to the UN and put the Russians and Chinese on blast.
This should be a simple demand: the removal of mines from an international waterway. You cannot exact illegal tolls. We have to address these violations here in the council. And we have to ask ourselves, if a country chooses to oppose such a simple proposition, do they really want peace?
The president says they're a bunch of lunatics. That's why they can't have a nuclear weapon. And if they don't sign the deal fast, the War Department's going to be a lot more violent.
There are 2 options for the Iranian regime. They can choose the pen or they can choose the sword. One would include them signing a good faith agreement that would lead into more detailed negotiations, and the other would be the Americans resuming their bombing campaign against the Islamic Republic.
Today, the Iranian president, for the first time, met with the gay Ayatollah in his little cave. The meeting lasted over 2.5 hours. It's hard to talk without lips. The key sticking point to the deal is that Trump's driving a really hard bargain. The president's demanding that the regime hand over their entire uranium stockpile, close up all their nuke facilities, and don't enrich, not even a little, for decades. Iran, and this is according to the New York Times, is countering that they'd like to give the uranium to a third party, potentially Russia, and they want an enrichment freeze for 10 to 15 years. But Iran's on a deadline, and they know it.
It looks like they've likely already cut back their production, maybe by 400,000 barrels a day. They'll likely continue to ramp down their production as their storage fills and their inability to export oil.
If their oil wells pop, the country's ripe for a revolution. The regime's already getting antsy. They've been going on a protester execution spree. Brent crude dropped below $100 a barrel for the first time in 2 weeks today. And corporate America just had its best earnings season in 20 years. Gas prices are high, no doubt about that. But many people believe it's worth it to get a good deal. A Harvard-Harris poll has 2/3 of voters saying the president shouldn't settle for less at the negotiating table. Over half of Democrats agree. And the president's hold on the party, still rock solid.
Donald John Trump. He absolutely still has the juice. And when you're a Republican and you go against Trump, you get voted off the island. I always love Survivor. And in this particular case, what we saw in Indiana was you go, adios, amigos, goodbye, see you later. And to me, that is emblematic of what we see nationwide with Republicans. I think there's this myth that's going on right now that, oh, Trump is really losing support among Republicans. But compared to other midterm cycles, he's just as popular with Republicans as he has ever been.
You know who else is getting pretty popular? Marco Rubio His stock's on the rise. So he's been dispatched to the Vatican to make peace with the Pope.
It has the seal of the State Department. So what to get someone who has everything?
The Pope doesn't have everything. He doesn't have world peace. And getting the dust out of the gay Ayatollah's filthy hands is a big step in that direction.
Think about this. Listen to this. Getting the dust out of the gay Ayatollah's hands. Okay? Getting the dust. I'm going to come back to that. But first, I'm going to take us to President Trump's post. Okay? That happened 6:34 Eastern time tonight. 3 world-class, and this is his last post, by the way, of the day so far. 3 world-class American destroyers just transited very successfully out of the Strait of Hormuz under fire. There was no damage done to the 3 destroyers, but great damage done to the Iranian attackers. They were completely destroyed along with numerous small boats, which are being used to take the place of their fully decapitated Navy. These boats went to the bottom of the sea quickly and efficiently. Missiles were shot at our destroyers and were easily knocked down. Likewise, drones came and were incinerated while in the air. They dropped ever so beautifully down to the ocean, very much like a butterfly dropping to its grave. I think Jesse did a great job with this. I just happened to want to read it again, and because of where it's going to take us. A normal country would have allowed these destroyers to pass, but Iran is not a normal country. They are led by lunatics, all caps, and if they had the chance to use a nuclear weapon, they would do it without question. But they'll never have that opportunity, and just like we knocked them out again today, we'll knock them out a lot harder and a lot more violently in the future if they don't get their deal signed fast. Our 3 destroyers with their wonderful crews will now rejoin our naval blockade, which is truly a wall of steel. President Donald J. Trump. Okay. So much to unpack here, my friends. But first of all, I want to just show you that if you don't think that following President Trump's posts and looking at the capital letter count of his posts is significant, I would point you to any 7th or 8th grade teacher that would mark up this with, world class destroyers, none of which should be capitalized. Okay. Destroyers again. Navy, questionable, capitalized. Bottom of the sea, destroyers again. Ocean is not capitalized. Country is not capitalized. Destroyers again. Country, lunatics. So let's look at this. What is President Trump trying to talk to us, trying to say to us? Okay. So let me take us to 2 things. First of all, the capital letter counter is 61. Okay. So let's first go to 61. Please refer back and collect my crumbs. Now, we've gotten collect my crumbs a few times in the past couple of days. As discussed, we've anticipated the Twitter and other social media blackouts. Okay. So they've anticipated the Twitter blackout of the Anons, right? And of President Trump. Q told us that was coming. But what about other social media blackouts? Now, I've been, deplatformed multiple times as you know, but he's talking about blackouts. Now, the only blackout that, excuse me, is mentioned when it comes to, the social media is April 6th, Delta, pixel surface of Hussein, meaning Barack Obama, holding AK-47 in tribal attire, one of many, net shutdown. So that's going to be the net shutdown. Fake pic pushed by MSM. That's what MSM will say about the pic of Hussein holding the AK-47. Q says they have videos in backup. And they will kill Google, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Yahoo, Bing, Instagram. Net will be paused because they have to stop the bleeding, because this picture and the video of Obama mowing down, murdering a U.S. service member will devastate, destroy the deep state, and they will kill the internet as best they can. Hammer, okay, that was the spy campaign and spy technology that Obama used against you and I, with Robert Mueller's borrowed computers from the FBI, and using the technology of Montgomery. I'm forgetting his first name right now, and Bill Binney. Okay, on the clock, Q. On the clock. So we are on the clock. I believe this is what we're being taken to. This is partially what we were being taken to. Okay. Okay. Let me take you to the rest of this. Rogue agents, programmers. So they're basically saying that in those platforms, that there are rogue agents and programmers that can shut it down. They've built that into the back, back door. Per sealed federal orders, we quickly tracked and reinstated. Expect outages periodically, infiltrated. If this doesn't signal what I've been saying, I don't know what will. Okay. So Obama was coming. This was the meme that Spiritual Street Fighter put out today. All roads lead to Renegade. Time for public military tribunals. Now, a similar post by our friend Spiritual Street Fighter put up with a similar picture of Obama and Trump making that smooth transition so beautiful. And it said, time for military tribunals. I think it says repost if you are ready for military tribunals. President Trump reposted that twice of her meme. And then she put this meme out today, but then she took it down. And I don't know why. I'll have to ask her. And if you're there, Spiritual Street Fighter, please reach out and let me know what happened. So this is what's going to happen. Okay. Let me go to 16, which is, as we know, the Think Mirror on 61, right? Get the popcorn. Friday and Saturday will deliver on the MAGA promise. Now, my friends, we've been here before. I'm not going to say it's going to happen tomorrow, but I'm not going to say it's not. Okay. POTUS knows he must clean house government in order to free up and demonstrate who has authority in order to pass important legislation. This was always the priority. Remember, AG Sessions cannot look like an impartial player that is out to get all former Obama team members. Again, Obama. As we need him for other important work, all will come into focus. And for anyone to think POTUS is not in control is kidding themselves. Also, he's 100% insulated with zero risk of impeachment. Fact. Now, if he's 100% insulated with zero risk of impeachment, he's also 100% insulated with zero risk of pew pew. Okay. Now, I knew. I'll give you an example. I'll come around full circle. Let me take you here. Now, let's go to the timestamp. Okay. 6:34 took us to heart attacks can be deadly. Okay. Doesn't really fit here, but military time is where we really need to go because of the fact that the Post was all about military. So we go to the military timestamp of 1834. They never thought she would lose. Now they all lose. Q plus, which is, as we know, President Trump. Okay. Who are they talking about here? You know, Hillary. Why are they talking about Hillary and Hillary and Obama? Why would President Trump be sending us there when it comes to Iran? Well, if you if you've been watching my show for more than a day, you would know that it's the Uranium One deal. And Hillary and Obama are the ones that, first of all, hit the Russian reset. All of a sudden, we're friends with Russia, which allows us to sell them 20% of our Uranium One. Trudeau was involved. Okay. But the funny thing is, even Robert Mueller was involved. He took the sample of uranium up to Russia to make sure that it passed the smell test. It did, but it never ended up in Russia. We've been told by Q that it ended up in Iran and North Korea. Now, a friend of mine, I talked with, good friend, I haven't talked to him in decades, couple decades, and we used to live together at the beach. Great guy, has a kind of an AI that goes through and takes all the AIs, polls all the AIs on different topics. And I'm not doing it justice. I'm going to find out more about it tomorrow. But basically, I said, listen, this, and I don't know enough about it to criticize that particular technology. But the problem with AI is that it's not going into the Q drops. And it doesn't have any of the connections that you've watched me do over the many years of POTUS taking us into the drops, news unlocks the map, deltas, timestamps, capital letter counts, one after another, and very, impossible that any of this, okay, is coincidence. Now you see me pulling up the Q drops here. Let's go to 131. Why? Because on the military timestamp of they never thought she would lose, August 10th, 2018. Okay. By the way, 12:44:55. Okay. This is significant as well, especially the double numbers. They never thought she would lose. Now they all lose. Okay. Who was 44? Obama. What was 55? Well, we'll get to that in a moment. Okay. But because of the zero ID, we go to 131. 131, POTUS, National Security, East Briefing Room, 3:02 a.m. Please stand by. Okay. Tonight, tomorrow morning, I should say, 3:02 a.m. Is something going down? Okay. Could be. We've been here before. Okay. This was November 10th, 2017. So how many times did he have a briefing? Okay. One of the dives, if you remember, that we did of this, we haven't done a lot of this, but one of the dives we did of this, there was actually an event that happened that night at the briefing. Anybody that can remember what that was, please let me know. I should know that because we called it. I said, maybe there's going to be a briefing, and it had to do with the FBI. and what they showed up with the next morning. Do you guys remember? Right. So so this is all President Trump is, making, these amazing, like, they dropped ever so beautifully. The drones came and were incinerated while in the air. They dropped ever so beautifully down to the ocean, very much like a butterfly dropping to its grave. I mean, think about the level of that people are going to go to by reading this, especially those that need to be awakened. They're going to be appalled at his language, right? At his poetry, right? And by the way, what have we been hearing about MK Ultra? Okay, the massive brainwashing and manipulation, neurolinguistic programming using LSD to affect people that college age, high school age students that and others, but primarily to get them tested. All those tests that we used to take, those aptitude tests, actually showed the people that were grading them who was sexually, physically, or emotionally abused as children. Then they preyed upon them, and that's why they put all the LSD into the colleges to get the students on LSD, because then they could use them to in their NLP programs of Operation Mind Control, which is a book written by an old friend of mine who is now passed, Walter Boart. I've told that story many times, but he wrote that book in 1976, Operation Mind Control. I highly recommend it. But the MK Ultra program was also Project Monarch, and that's why a lot of the MK Ultra victims had butterflies tattooed on them as a part of the Operation Monarch. Kathy O'Brien, we were talking about the boys club with Oliver last night, and the Franklin cover up, and I mentioned Kathy O'Brien, and she came out and talked about these tattoos of butterflies. Okay, so is President Trump also telling us that the MK Ultra program is dead? That's what I'd like to think, because there was information that came out recently about the MK Ultra program. What do you call it? Stranger Things. I wouldn't allow my daughter to see it. And it's because it's real. It's fucking real. Like, Bobby Brown or whatever, whatever her name is, a great little actress, right? But they really did that to children. Okay. So I don't want to watch a documentary on that has been made that's been Hollywoodized, and that young children are watching around the world, right? So, so this is very interesting, and the fact that he's talking about Iran. So I told my friend today, I said, now if your AI tracked my work here on the show, it would know that what we're really doing in Iran and North Korea, Q has told us that President Trump is destroying the nuclear agenda, not of North Korea, not of Kim Jong-un, not of Iran and the Ayatollah, although it does serve their possibly their interests. But Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, who were put in place to start World War III with this rogue nuclear weapon that was going to cause America to fight against Russia, as in the sum of all fears, which that is the story. And that is why President Trump has played that music so much. That is why Q has ended the Q drops so many times with Sum of All Fears. And this is also taking us down this path of the people that were involved in that movie of this conspiracy. They were all taken out. And this is all the drops with the Sum of All Fears, my friends. And here's the thing. And this is 194, November 22nd, 2017. Exactly what I'm talking about. Uranium 1. Okay. Canada. That was Trudeau. Okay. It went through the EU. Okay. It went through Asia and ended up in Iran and North Korea. Iran deal. Why is this relevant? Reread drops regarding North Korea and Iran. Why? What does it mean to be covered in gold? Okay, that's the Rothschilds. Now we know that Iran is basically a money laundering operation and a financing operation of the City of London. City of London is controlled by the Rothschilds and has been since Mayor Rothschild took over the markets in after the Napoleonic War, after the Battle of Waterloo. And what does it mean to be covered in gold? Well, this is the why of in the Q drops of the Rothschilds, and this was, let me see if I have it handy. Oh, it's picking up all the Y's, so it's not giving me the one I want. I should have that number in my in the back of my mind here, but I do not. So let me see here. So anyway, I will continue. Okay, so now much of this you guys know. Like, I'm not saying, I'm not pretending like I know something you guys don't know on this topic. And whether you learned it from me or you've learned it from Just Q or somebody else, but the reason why I'm walking you through it in the way that I'm walking you through it is so you really have a a grasp of the big picture here. And I've said many times, if you're not following an Anon, find one, cuddle up. Okay. I'm available. I got big arms. I got a big chest. I pull you in. I'll keep you informed. I'll keep you safe. But find an Anon that can paint the whole picture for you, because those who cannot paint the whole picture, they just don't see what's really going on. And so this AI wouldn't be able to tell the same story that I'm telling you here. It could if it's properly programmed, certainly, right? But so the why, what does it mean to be covered in gold? That's the Rothschilds. Which couple was photographed covered in gold? And that was the Rothschild, Lord de Rothschild, I believe, and Lynn de Rothschild in that photo. And so it's getting, the public release was a mistake. We weren't supposed to see that. Now, who released the picture? Well, I think Q did. Okay. Who has all the information? Q. I never saw that picture until it was in the drops. Okay. So it was Q, as far as I know. Who has all the information? Q. Why? What does it mean to be covered in gold? Okay. They are royalty. Everyone else is basically worthless eaters. right? Can you locate one other pic with Y head covered in gold? What does this represent? Okay. And it's the three sides of the triangle. Now, the other pic covered in gold was actually Barack Obama. Okay. Could have been white gold because it looks silver or white gold, but I believe it was white gold. What does this represent? And we have the three sides of the triangle: Saudi Arabia, which has already fallen in the purge of 2017, Rothschilds, which they're talking about right here, okay, and Soros. All right. The sum of all fears. This is the group that was giving uranium to Iran and North Korea, along with the money given to Iran. Okay. And by the way, Q reposted this again a few minutes later, right? A few minutes later. And hold on a sec. Oh boy. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, that's good, Kev. I just saw that. I'm going to put that up here in a minute. So, and again, 199, November 22nd, 2017. Where did it all end up? What was the purpose? The election 2016. Why was the Iran deal kept from Congress? So Q explains it all to us, but it all has to do with the sum of all fears. And if you understand this, the movie, the story of the sum of all fears, then what you understand is that it was a rogue group that was trying to start World War III. Okay. Yeah. So, what if uranium 1 material ended up in Syria? What would be the primary purpose? Sum of all fears. In the movie, where did the materials come from? What country? I believe it was Ukraine in the movie. Can you guys confirm that, please? What would happen if Russia or other foreign states supplied uranium to Iran, Syria? War. What does uranium 1 provide? Define cover. Why did we strike Syria? Why did we really strike Syria? Define cover, patriots in control. Now, my friends, this is all about the cash that Obama cleared. Do you understand that President Trump is taking us to these places? Right? Thank you, Gary. Appreciate that, bro. Yeah. Do you understand that that's what we're doing? That's what President Trump is doing. He's bringing you and I along here. He's making us laugh with some of this stuff, but he's telling us multiple things in one post. Okay, that's what I love about this. And if it was not significant, like if it didn't have a definitive, like, oh my gosh, a wow, I wouldn't show it to you. But I got to tell you, there aren't many that I pick out that aren't gold. And the reason I pick them out is because the first post of the day is mostly significant. The last post of the day is significant. The ones that have to do with the military are significant. The ones that have a lot of weird capital letters in them are significant. And I guess I just know how to pick them. Like I just, when I look at them, it's almost like, you look at something and you just know, right? You get a feeling about it. And so you go with that feeling, and the next thing you know, you're going down a rabbit hole that you really kind of took yourself down. Now, this photo that Kevin just sent me, speaking of Barack Obama. Now, Kev, can you tell me, by the way, let's see. Karen Holcomb, we've got to get that dust. So we'll do. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Karen. This is what I wanted to play for you, or this is the thing that I really wanted to touch on at the end of Jesse Waters. Let me play this again.
To make peace with the Pope.
It has the seal of the State Department. So what to get someone who has everything.
The Pope doesn't have everything. He doesn't have world peace. And getting the dust out of the gay Ayatollah's filthy hands is a big step in that direction.
Getting the dust out of the gay Ayatollah's hands is a big step in that direction. Why does Jesse say that? Because getting the dust out of the gay Ayatollah's hands is going to, they know they can figure out where that dust came from. And they're going to find out that it came from the Uranium One deal with Hillary and with Obama. They're done. Okay. They go bye-bye, my friends. And we don't continue to get, stupid, videos like what we got from, I gotta pull this up. Why is this not coming up the way I need it? Hold on one second. Let me do this. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Okay. This is Obama. Now, was this when he was talking to Colbert? Kev, can you tell me that? But look above his head and look at this symbol. This is the pedophile, boy lover symbol right here across this. This isn't an accident, my friends. Okay, this is a comm. Because this is the fact that Obama was talking to Colbert, that wasn't a black hat script, my friends. That was a pure white hat script. Look at this symbolism. Okay. We've seen that in Disney movies. We've seen it in the FBI, boy lover. We've seen it on the rings. And by the way, we've seen it on the cloaks, the vestment cloaks of the Pope. Okay. So that's legit. Okay. And here's the Pope. We don't have I don't know if we have it on this particular one. I imagine they're playing it kind of close to the vest here these days, but sure enough. And Rubio, by the way, make no mistake, Rubio is taking a message to the Vatican from President Trump. And let me tell you what I think that message is. Your days are numbered. Keep up the good work because you're staying alive, but know that your days are numbered and this is all going to be coming to a close very soon and you will have been exposed. The Catholic Church will have been exposed. The corrupt nature of what's been happening with the corrupt Catholic Church, the child trafficking, et cetera, and you will suffer greatly. So I don't want you to think that the Pope is just spouting off. I don't think that's the case at all. I think this is all carefully scripted. Because, again, they've all been, they've all been put into capitulation. Bowhunter says BlackRock's private credit fund took a major loss today, and Japan's reverse carry trade market is in trouble. Interesting. Keep an eye on Japan for me, Bowhunter, if you would. When does their market open? Please let me know. Yeah, we're on the clock. You didn't see the Q drop. Which Q drop did you not see, Joy? I'm sorry. Holy cow. Hold on. Fair end. David Wilcock spoke of Hantavirus in his last post. He said he had it, and the next day he was gone. What? Yeah, I think it's because we're close. Yeah, we've been here before. It hasn't been every Friday and Saturday, but it's been a few. It's definitely been a few. More than a few. Okay. More than a few. Okay. Every other Friday and Saturday. No. But yeah. There we go. So exactly. That's exactly what's going down. Yeah. I'm way behind on the chat here. My apologies. Velma, wonder what collective AI would find if asked how, why, and by whom has Shadow banned David Snedeker or the IndoctriNATION? That would be interesting, Velma. That would be interesting also to ask AI to see if they have access. I doubt if they have access to the inner workings of like YouTube and Facebook and stuff like that, but it certainly would be interesting to know what's behind that. Yeah. So, yeah. So, Motor Yoder, thank you for sharing it out. Appreciate that, folks. If you want to support my work here, please do so. There's you can use a phone to capture that image right there. And also you can support me through Zelle. Or nobody's really using the Give, Send, Go anymore, which is fine because it takes a little while for me to get it, and I prefer you using Zelle. But if you're normally a Give, Send, Goer, I'm happy with that as well. And also, yeah. And so if you support me this evening, I will read your name off here very shortly before we close out for the evening. And I also want to share with you that information again on the Oli Life machine. And let me see. This is the science behind this, and I want to share that out, and I'm going to talk more about it. But I do want to. I'll put this link in the description. But let me play this for you real quick, and so you understand the technology of the thing that I was talking about last night with Sir Oliver that would hopefully save him from surgery, because this is surgery can be really, really bad for backs, and I don't want that to happen. And so I hope and pray that it is able to help him. And but let me play this for you.
A quiet revolution that started in the stars and is rooted deep in the Earth itself. For billions of years, life on this planet has evolved inside a natural electromagnetic field, the Schumann resonance, at 7.83 Hertz, the literal heartbeat of the Earth. This natural pulsing frequency, combined with the grounding electrons from the planet's surface, has been essential for life. Just like we need sunlight, fresh air, and clean water to survive and thrive, our cells have evolved needing these natural electromagnetic signals to communicate, repair, and stay in balance. But modern life changed everything. Concrete buildings, rubber-soled shoes, constant artificial EMFs from screens and Wi-Fi. We became disconnected from the Earth's natural grounding and Schumann resonance. The result? So many of us feel drained, restless, and out of sync, even though our bodies were literally designed to run on these frequencies. NASA discovered this decades ago. When astronauts left Earth's magnetic field, their bodies struggled. So they developed pulsed electromagnetic field technology, PEMF, to mimic the Earth's natural frequencies and keep astronauts strong in space. The results were powerful. For decades, this same technology remained locked away in expensive clinics for the wealthy and elite athletes only. It was right there in plain sight, but kept just out of reach for regular families and busy practitioners. Until now. In 2022, a dedicated team of innovators launched a global crusade to free this life-supporting technology and bring it to every person who wants to feel better. They partnered with a respected global wellness powerhouse and refined it in advanced R&D laboratories with brilliant scientists in Sweden and Germany, all guided by corporate headquarters in Singapore. 3 full years of rigorous European research and testing created something special. And here's the proof. In August 2024, Oli Life was officially granted Utility Model Patent CN221557340U for their precise PEMF delivery system. You can verify it yourself right now at patents.google.com/patent/CN221557340U. This patent protects the exact waveform modulation circuit, crystal oscillator, PWM signal, high-frequency transformer, and resonant loop that delivers the gentle experience users love. This isn't marketing fluff. PEMF technology has been studied in over 2,000 scientific publications worldwide, with hundreds indexed on PubMed and multiple meta-analyses confirming how it supports cellular communication, natural energy, and balance. And the technology itself has received FDA clearance for specific wellness applications since the late 1970s, with devices properly registered with the FDA as wellness devices. That's real science, real regulation, real results. The Oli Life Therapy 90 was designed to support relaxation and overall well-being through frequency-based technology, combining PEMF and terahertz support in one device. Then the THZ Therapy 90 Plus takes it further, integrating PEMF, terahertz, footpad design, frost age beauty support, and Revitalux massage attachments into one advanced wellness system. For the user, this means more than a device. It means one system designed to support comfort, recovery, relaxation, and self-care in one place. The P90 Plus is powerful because it doesn't stop at one function. Frost Age uses RF and EMS-based beauty support to promote a refreshed look. Revitalux combines magnetic, EMS, and light technology for a more elevated self-care experience. So what's in it for them? Convenience, versatility, and a more complete wellness routine without needing multiple devices. For the person who feels tired, overstimulated, or screen drained, the Galaxy G1 answers that directly. It combines low-frequency PEMF with airbag massage, vibration, and gentle heat compress technology in a foldable eye wellness device. Designed for home, work, or travel, it gives people a soothing, convenient way to support eye area relaxation and comfort. Then there's the Vitality Wand, designed for people who want a more targeted wellness experience. It uses ultra-low wave frequency technology, gentle warmth, and controlled air pressure. It's hands-free, adjustable, and built for personalized comfort. So the benefit isn't just technology, it's ease. It gives people a more focused way to relax, support circulation, and feel restored. For full body comfort, the shaken massager brings multiple technologies together: ultrasonic waves, vibration, heat therapy, red light, air pressure compression, and PEMF support. That means a more immersive experience for muscle comfort, relaxation, and recovery. It's the kind of product people understand immediately because they can feel what it's doing. Wellness is not only what you place on the body, it's also the environment around you. The A9 Smart Anion Bama Air is designed to support cleaner indoor living using negative ion generation and HEPA filtration. It offers multiple support modes, timer functions, and app-friendly controls. So for families, professionals, and home users, it's about breathing in a space that feels fresher, cleaner, and more supportive every day. And for daily lifestyle support, the H Plus bar brings the technology into something simple: water. It's a portable hydrogen water bottle designed to produce hydrogen-infused water enhanced with MRET low-frequency resonance technology. So what's in it for them? Daily convenience, hydration with intention, a product they can actually use every single day. The Oli Life movement and its partners have already created over $2 billion in global wellness impact. Because when people start feeling more relaxed, sleeping deeper, and waking up with natural energy, the word spreads like wildfire. This isn't just another device. This is a crusade, a mission to reconnect humanity with the natural electromagnetic environment we were designed for. The same Schumann frequencies and grounding connection our bodies have needed since the beginning of life on Earth. Whether you're a family wanting daily balance at home, or a practitioner looking for safe, simple tools to support your patients between visits, Oli Life fits perfectly. It's fully compliant wellness technology. No complicated protocols, no ongoing costs, no risk. Just gentle pulses you can feel working with your body's own natural rhythms and the Earth's Schumann resonance. As you listen to this right now, you can already begin to imagine how good it will feel when that deeper calm and natural energies start returning. Soon you'll notice the difference. Soon you'll smile as the vitality comes back. Soon you'll wonder how you ever lived without it. Because every family deserves to wake up excited about their day. Every practice deserves tools that help people genuinely feel better between visits. The door that was closed for so long is now wide open. The technology our bodies have always needed is finally here, and it's ready to help you feel better, starting today.
So that is this device that I mentioned yesterday that is now I'm using it twice a day, and I put my feet on it for 20 minutes, and I meditate with it or have my coffee with it. And it has a few attachments that you saw too for using on my calf, and so, and the face one, my sister got because she used that, and you can actually see through it as you can read. It's kind of difficult, but it doesn't keep you completely. But it's supposedly good for increasing eyes. So I want to get that one as well because I want to see if I can do this show without my glasses. Yeah, so please check it out. Basically the website is sneds.thefrequencyawakening.com. Thefrequencyawakening.com. That's where you can find it. And yeah, and it's so far I'm loving it. I'm really, my energy is better. I've only been on it for a handful of days. But I'm already feeling my calf healing better. Somebody asked me, how would you compare it to the Healy? I would say that I use the Healy more for mental, not so much physical things, although people do. But to me, If you have the contact of the Healy, that's better. But for me, I find it hard to just wear the the stickers around and the wires and have the little device. And I find the Healy to be more expensive than this too, much more expensive. So so there you go. But so check it out, and if you have any questions, you can reach out to my email on that website and learn more about it. Children can absolutely use it. Yes, it has many settings without questions. Yeah, all the organs. It's the whole body. It's the whole body, and it comes up through your feet. And as you know, each part of your foot is connected to your organs and different parts of your body. So the fact that it's starting with the foot, the feet, and going into the rest of your body is really huge. So it's really great stuff. Melissa says, I'm enjoying the organic peptide oral drops, burns fat, energy, lowers inflammation. I mentioned, Melissa, earlier, I wanted to know more about peptides. And if you would, please send me a little something on that. Maybe I'll do something on the show about peptides. And also, Jingle, thank you for sending me the stuff that you sent me on the toilets. No toilets in the old world. That's actually Kathy Drexler sent that. So thank you, Kathy. And let me see. Epigenetics, Natalie sent me. I'll check that out too. Thank you. And let me just give a quick shout out to just some amazing people. I've got to just say thank you to some folks that stepped up today. Let me start with Gus Gustafson. Thank you, Gus. Appreciate your $20 donation. Let's see. Anita Osich. Thank you for your $25 donation, Anita. That is very much appreciated. Let me see. We got Joyce Starkey. Thank you for your ongoing $12 donation. Let's see. Amanda Lynn, thank you for your ongoing $12 donation. It's much appreciated. And then let me take us to those who are zelling me directly, which is wonderful. It takes no money out of credit card fees, doesn't take any money out when I transfer it because it goes right into my bank account. So thank you again, Janet Sayer, for your $50 donation tonight. Linda Moon for your $25 donation. Thank you very much, Linda. Sharon Lett for your $20 donation. Thank you, Sharon. CR Partners, thank you very much for your $10 donation. Linda Prasnick, thank you for your $25 donation and ongoing support, Linda. And Julie Fackler for your $50 donation, Julie. It's appreciated more than you know. All of you, thank you very, very much for your support for this show and for this community. And your support allows me to continue to provide this for free. And to me, I think that's a pretty important thing, to continue to be free, but also to not suffer like one does if the support isn't coming through. So thank you, my friends, for being here tonight. I'm not sure of my weekend schedule, but I will keep you posted. Please keep a lookout on X. Please keep a lookout on Snedheads. That's the surest way to know if I'm going live, folks, is just logging on to Snedheads. So even if you're not a member of Snedheads, please join just so you can pop over. And by the way, you know how easy it is for me to get on Snedheads? Basically, you can create a little spot on your phone. and you just go there, and then you're in. And then when you say fill the password, and then you click keep me logged in, and then Snedeheads pops up, right? And you've got what's going to come up is a few videos, then my X feed, right? But if you keep scrolling, then you'll get to other people's feeds, which are happening right here. Okay. But as it comes down here, you have a video here by Kathy Drexler, No Toilets in the Old World. So if you want to look at what we were talking about tonight, you can watch this video. As a matter of fact, let me see how long that is. Yeah, it's 26 minutes long, and I'll tell you, I'll do that one of these nights soon together. Okay. Yeah, this was unbelievable. Heather Willard, by the way, always posting some great stuff on Snedeheads. Legendary singer and musician Eric Clapton was just removed from the Rolling Stone top 10 list of greatest guitar players because he said he was injured by the COVID vaccine. When asked why, Rolling Stone had this to say: his COVID comments clearly rule out any chance of being all-knowing. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, and then up here, you have a button where if you press that, then you have the menu, and you can scroll down the menu and find all these cool things that you can do, even play games down here. So please just join Snedeheads, be a part of that community, be a part of saying fuck you to Facebook and YouTube for canceling us during COVID. I mean, is anybody really holding them accountable for the amount of people that died because of COVID, because of the jab? Anybody holding them accountable that are still posting on Facebook and posting and watching videos on YouTube? Anybody holding them accountable for the fact that they got rid of people like me that were trying to warn you about the jab? How many people, how many lives could have been saved had I continued to, Robin said she remembers when I used to get 20,000 views in a couple of days' time, and I'd get more than that. I'd get 40, 50,000 views. And how many people could still be alive or still be healthier because they saw me instead of, seeing the shit that YouTube and Facebook would allow to continue. It's just tragic, my friends. And yet, so when are we going to say fuck you to these corporations that are all also tracking us, listening to us, watching us, invading our privacy, selling our information? You think it's free? No, it's not free. $17 over on Snedeheads. You get privacy, you get safety, you get security, and you don't get tracked. You don't think that's a deal? You know what they're selling your shit for? You know what they're selling your wedding photos and your graduation photos and your first day of school photos? You know what they're selling that stuff for? Now with AI that they can track you and they can control you and manipulate the shit out of you, they're selling that for a hell of a lot more than $17 a month, my friends. And you're not getting it for free. You think you are, but you're giving away a hell of a lot more than that. All right, my friends. What, Kevin? IRS, SCOTUS voted 7-2. IRS is illegal. What? Hold on. What did SCOTUS rule on today regarding IRS? Let me see if Grok's got this down here. Kevin, if this is legit, brother, this is okay. Did not release any opinions. Ongoing IRS-related developments. Hirsch versus U.S. Tax Court challenges whether IRS civil fraud penalties require a jury trial under the 7th Amendment. Response deadline was recently extended to May 15th. No ruling yet. Commissioner versus Zook, June 2025, 8-1 ruling sided with the IRS, limiting tax court jurisdiction. Yeah, so it doesn't look like that's legit. That's, of course, just grok. Do you have receipts on that at all? Yeah, Google owns YouTube. Yeah. Thank you, Nancy. Appreciate it. How do you make the app for Snedeheads jingle? So it's basically, let me see. I think you go, let me see. Is it Control Center? No. Okay, so let me show you. So let me take us to snedheads.com. There's let me actually do another one. Let me see if I can do. Okay, so snedheads.com. Okay. So there we are, right? Now, if I copy this is what I'm going to do. Okay. I'm going to hit this right here. This little button, sorry. Let me make it bigger for crying out loud. Yeah. Okay. So here we are, right? So down here it says snedheads.com, right? Hit that button, okay? And it says, maybe I did this wrong. Add a bookmark. Is that add a quick note? Add to read. Add to favorites. How the hell do I do that? Hold on. Maybe it's this here. These three buttons. Add to bookmarks. Add bookmark to. No. You know what? I did it so damn long ago. I can't remember how the hell I did it. Let me try this again. Snedeheads. Does anybody know? Okay, let me do this. Let me go to X. Grok. How do I put a website on my home screen iPhone as looking like an app? Okay. Let me take you here. This might be better. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. Let's see how this works. All right. Okay. Open the Safari app. Other browsers like Chrome may not work as well for this. So I'm on an iPhone, so I have my Safari, right? Go to the website you want to add. Okay. That's where I'm at. I'm at snedheads.com. Okay. Tap the share button, square with an upward arrow. Share, square with a share right there. Okay. You seeing that? Make sure. So you see the share, you click on the this button down here. Hold on. So I click, hold on. I click the three dots at the right of the website and it says share. So I click share. Okay. This is what. Okay. Then scroll down in the share menu and say add to home screen. Okay. On newer iOS versions, you may need to tap the three dots next to the address bar. That's what I did. Tap the three dots. So then we scroll down to add to home screen right here. Okay. Add to home screen. Okay. And it looks like news feed. That's why there's an N to it. There's a new news feed, Snedeheads. And add to home screen. And I click add right there, add to home screen. And there it is. There's the N right there. Okay. And then of course I can press that down and I can edit home screen, right? And then I can pull that N over to, my top things, or even, and it's right next to my other N that is the same thing, or I can drag it down here and have it there down at the bottom. Okay. And then tap it and you're done. And then when I click that, it goes right to the website. All right. Now, the reason why that's so awesome is because you really don't want the app. Thank you for asking that, Jingle. You really don't want an app, because an app you have to update. You have to go through the Google Play station or Google Play thing. You got to go through Apple App Store. They take 30% off the top of everything. It's ridiculous. It's a monopoly. This way you can create an app without even really creating an app, and it goes right to the website. So it's the best of both worlds, right? All right, my friends. Thanks for being here. And thanks for adding your comments. Yeah, and thank you. That was perfect to do that. So I'll see you at some point over the weekend. I'm going to do a little video on Erica Kirk, I think this weekend. So be on the lookout for that. I think you're going to appreciate it. All right. Much love, my friends. Be well tonight. Take care of yourself, and hit me up with any questions you have regarding this amazing device. And thanks for all those who support my work here of many, many years. Good night.